Yo, y'all already know what it is, man. It's your boy Mo 804.
And your girl Divine Earth with 1E.
Now, we are out here right now in Springfield, Missouri. Just finished doing, getting the Qualcomm installed today. Got our Easy Pass, Smart Passes, stuff like that for that pink champagne, because it's pouring. You know what I mean? When you hear that, when you see that pink champagne pouring down the highway, watch out. Or you might get a little tipsy. You know what I mean? She handing out buzzers to everybody who want to sip, man. That pink champagne for real. But we sliding through right now just to talk about pink champagne for one, because, you know, we are very, very happy. Chippy, go get it, son.
This is ridiculous.
It's back there. We talk about, you know, just getting a new truck, man. You know, just what it means to us. Chippy, come on, son.
The camera down. He is hyped right now.
Yeah, talk about just, you know, some of the new things that we got going on right now, man. Just the excitement that we have just with this new truck, what it means to us, what it means to so many people. We've been getting approached already for pictures of it, just conversation about it. So it's coming together well, man.
The whole process of getting a truck, and, you know, right after we came off home time. So, yeah, we just want to fill y'all in.
Yeah, so just with that, overall, we want to just talk about the fact of just being prepared, man. You know, because trucking will give you a vacation even when you don't want one. You know what I mean? You don't have to always prepare for a vacation. A lot of people save money up and plan and plot for a vacation, and you really don't have to do that in the trucking industry, because sometimes it will hit you off guard. But the adage is, you know, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. You know, we just came off of a 16-day homestay, kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
Ran a couple loads, got us into Houston to pick the truck up. Little did we know we'd be in Houston for 8 days. So,
and while we was at home on home time, our expenses were still going. You know, our expenses don't stop because we do pay for our truck weekly.
Right. So
yeah.
You figure upwards of 20 plus days, we went with no income coming in, you know what I mean? So we mainly had to sustain, and that's really what we out here working for on a consistent basis, is putting ourselves in position for situations such as this. You know, we don't...
Or being ready to take hits, because it was a hit, you know, and it just happened that we was ready.
Right.
But it could have been a hit that really made us tank.
Well, for a lot of people, it probably would. You know, if you're not prepared and not putting yourself in the proper position to be able to withstand, you will get smacked.
Putting your money away. Ain't no
period.
But
not just putting it away, making enough to put away, still maintain, but still have that nest egg. So you can kind of just still live and do what you do. Like, we were down in Houston, and sure, we could, I guess, sat in the hotel room the whole time and pinched pennies and, you know, did the bare minimum to get through. I mean, we're talking 8 days in a random city. But that ain't what we did.
Right.
You know what I mean? We was able to rent a vehicle, still get out and kind of explore the city, because that's something that we don't really get to do a lot when you're trucking, just because, you know, you're in work mode. So you don't get to see a lot of the smaller mom and pop restaurants. You know, we went to two vegan spots that I had heard about before, you know, via social media. But with the truck and just, you know, all that comes with that, you don't want to be going off the beaten path to explore. You know, you're on a job at that time, so you focus on getting where you're going. So
if it's not like right there where you at, then
kind of no need to do that.
Taking you off,
right? So
out the way.
Just being able to explore, see a few things, visit some places. We were able to see, well, at least I was able to see some friends that I've known for years upon years that I probably haven't seen in almost 20 years. So that was great to be able to see them, even if it was only for a few minutes, man. So little things like that
make a difference on being on the road.
For sure. Yeah. So we were down in Houston to the point where we were ready to go. Not saying just because we're used to going, you know what I mean? So, but not saying we're not knocking Houston or nothing like that. H-Town all day. We was able to catch up with Jay Rich.
Yeah, that was
she was in the city at the same time, so we reached out to her. She came through and looked out for us.
Yeah, that was
so that was great on her behalf. So definitely shout out to Jay Rich, man. She really showed us some H-Town love. But, you know,
I was impressed.
Yeah, Jay Rich.
Yeah.
It was official. I think I'm still buzzing a little bit.
I think that like when you're out here on the road and you're trucking, you know, the more you can minimize your expenses, the better off you can be. And I think that we went so many years with our expenses being minimum to none,
Right.
that it allowed us to get ahead, you know, and that was part of our formula coming in.
Right. I would agree.
You know, not having a house, not having a whole car notes, not having a whole bunch of extra bills. Now, we had bills,
Right.
but we didn't have a whole lot.
Right.
And so it allowed the stress to not be there. So it's like
very minimum.
Very minimum.
Sure.
So it's like, you know, you make money, yes, that's a plus. Times we didn't make as much money as we wanted, okay, then this was just a slow week. Or this
Right.
week wasn't as great as the other. But that money still just went in the bank and sat there because we really didn't have so many obligations from month to month that we had to take care of.
Right.
And those years really prepared us for now that we did just recently incur expenses.
Right.
That the hits are not
That minimum.
hurting us as much.
You figure
you
we
know?
went almost 4 years strictly
Living
on the
from our
bank
truck.
and strictly on a stack mode. Like, you know, we don't think about nothing else. Like I'm not getting pulled
Right.
and trying to toil in my head about a certain car, or I'm not in the Saks Fifth Avenue websites
Right.
buying
No, we ain't
clothes.
doing
Like
no
I don't
spending
look
like that.
at things that kind of pull me. Like there's things that I know that's out here that I would love to have, but my time's gonna come.
Right, and the most we
until then, I'm
spent
good.
for real was hotels and food, which most of y'all probably know that in trucking, you get that money back. You get a lot of that money back once you get an LLC or a corp, and
Well,
you know.
That's the best part about having a business and not just being out here working.
And even if you're a company, you can still claim a percentage. It's a
Yeah.
lower amount that you will get back for your hotel fees and food and things like that, but you can still get some money back. So
Yeah.
you don't necessarily have to have a business. You just get a little bit more.
So when you start talking about tax write-offs and
Tax write-offs,
just
yeah.
overall business expenses, we're not just out here driving a truck. We're out here building and putting ourselves into situations where business takes hits or takes bumps, not us personally.
Well, when we first came out here, our credit was, you know,
Yeah.
for real. And
sure.
that was 2016. It's
For sure.
2020, and our credit is like,
Yeah. I mean, on the credit
you
tip,
know what
I
I'm
mean,
saying?
there's
We
nothing,
in,
not
we
too
in the
much.
excellent, and I'm happy to say that. It ain't
Yeah.
even a brag thing. When I
Right.
say that for years, I have, like, you know, even though we purchased a house before, like, I don't even know how we was able to purchase that house because that's how low our credit
Well,
was.
they
We got our
almost-
house built.
They almost gave it to us,
Collateral
knowing
'cause
that,
we had
knowing that
land.
we was gonna fall
Right.
off.
Right.
To a degree.
That's
And
a whole
sometimes they
nother
do that.
conversation.
Yeah.
And they'll do that. A lot of companies will do that. They'll give you a car knowing you can't afford it. They'll give you a house knowing you can't afford it. They'll
Facts.
give you anything you want knowing you can't afford it because all they're going to do is reap their money back anyway. So
Yeah.
they're not worried about that. But I feel good about that. You know, at
Yeah.
one point I used to feel like, you know, I don't want to be bragging, but why not? I'm not bragging on anything that I didn't work hard to get. And I
Right.
know that God put us in this position. We really got out here, and while we were saving our money, we did the research to find out how to rebuild our credit.
Yep.
You know, after going through a bankruptcy, foreclosure, and having everything that happened to us, we both made our mind up that we're not going to get found in that situation again.
Thanks.
And I know that people will say, well, don't say never. Well, you can plan what your life is going to be.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that things are not going to come that can cause you to that hit you, because we've experienced that. We experienced it in Albuquerque. We've experienced it in life before we became truckers.
Yep.
We've had hits since we've been trucking before that. And even with this, we didn't plan to be here these extra weeks. We was trying to come back on the road and start making money. And that's not what happened.
Nope.
And if we didn't have certain things in place, and I'm not saying this is just our life, so I'm not telling nobody what to do, but having credit cards and using them responsibly and understanding how credit works really helps. And also having money saved up in different places, different bank accounts, investing,
Yes.
having money, you know, don't just let your money sit. There's so many different things that we've been able to learn
Yeah.
since we've been in
We've
trucking.
done some investing. I mean, minimal,
Yeah.
nothing over the
Long-term,
top, but
you know, and short
we've
term.
done some investing so far, and look to do more. We're just
Right.
looking to grow, period, man. You know, staying stagnant, dealing with the same repetitive routines over and over again. We're done with that, man.
I just recently put up a post on my Life Lessons by Divine Earth channel. This is a plug.
Go check that
Make sure y'all go
out.
check that out. Life Lessons by Divine Earth. This is a women empowerment channel.
Yes.
But I just recently put a post up about that. Like, if you find yourself repeating the same things and the same struggles, or just say the same, you find yourself in the same condition over and over again. Example. You can't pay your rent, or you don't have enough money to pay your utilities, or you are overdrafts. You know, you talking about
$35
oh my goodness,
over and over and
between
over and over and over
overdrafts
again.
and page what was it? The
Payday
loans. What?
Killed me.
What? Let me tell you something. Was nobody more expert at payday loans than we were on the real. And when we made our mind up, I remember we was like, we're going to live whatever way we need to live. We're not borrowing another dime. We got to the point we was borrowing $20 from people for gas. And we both worked and made good money. And that was not because we didn't have it. It was because we was not managing our money properly. Ain't no other way to put it.
Very poor money management.
And then
poor.
it also can come from living above your means. Now, that wasn't necessarily our situation because we was house poor. But that is kind of living above your means.
Explain house poor to someone who have never heard that term.
Well, house poor meaning that we had a home that we were buying, and all of the expenses that we incurred from just owning our home put us in debt. We didn't have credit cards. We didn't have, we wasn't out being lavish, buying, expensive things, or just out being frivolous with our money. The money we needed to maintain keeping our home was taking us under. If needing our, well, we had a modular or a manufactured home, which you have to buy things. Anybody that has a home on here or has home ownership
And property.
And property, understand that you are responsible for the things in your home. So, between septic tanks and
the overall
wells,
well period,
appliances that can mess up in your home,
getting
and things like that.
What was it, an easement
Right.
done?
We had a lot of car issues because we traveled 45 minutes back and forth to work. So
Closer to
we
an
had,
hour, but
we had 3 cars at one point, but they was all beaters. They weren't no really up to date, really nice cars. We was doing the best we could do, but they had issues. You know how many times we was on the side of the road, pitch black, and he over there changing tires. It was just one thing after another.
Buying them $20 tires from the Mexican shops.
Right. And it was always something, And then we had our salon, so we had to maintain that too because it takes money to make money. So it was just being so consumed with the debt just from owning our home. It was a lot. It was a lot. In addition to 5 kids.
That's the A. You better say it, Shorty.
In addition to 5 kids.
Yeah.
That I'm grateful that I can say this was not lacking anything.
Nah.
Okay? So being mindful that when you come out here as a trucker, have your vision and have it clear. That's one of the things that made me so excited about becoming a trucker, is because my husband had a plan. And it was like, oh wow, I can just follow my husband because he's leading.
I remember coming to her. It ain't choking me up or nothing. Rona,
stop.
No Rona.
Right.
But I remember coming to my wife literally almost in some tear stuff, bro. Like, we're not doing this no more.
Right.
Like, from this day forward, like, we're not doing this anymore. We're not borrowing another dub from nobody.
Yep.
We're not going to do it. Whatever we have to do to get ourselves in a better position, we're going to do it. And I took that mentality into my everyday. The light bulb went off for trucking. That's why, I don't care what nobody say. I send my shout-outs to LoShawn Parks, man. I send my shout-outs to TB. It's not that they were the only ones talking trucking and trying to give information and just give overall confidence and inspire people. Whatever the case may be, their messages resonated with me. whatever the case may be. I mean, it was all types of guys out there, from your senators to the. I mean, y'all know if anybody on here dealt with YouTube truck and stuff, y'all know all the individuals that was out here back in the day. And for whatever reason, those two gentlemen, their words and the way in which they conveyed their messages and the way in which they were living their life, it resonated with me.
This man was up all night.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
what is he doing?
Studying.
I could hear him talking, all these people talking. And
Well,
they was
on the Zello app, all that.
I mean, they was all into it. I'm like, he is really into this.
It was giving me the fire. It was giving me the fire that I needed to be able to see people who look and act and come from similar places like I do. And these guys are younger than me.
They are.
Let's not get that twisted.
Yeah.
TB and LoShawn, I know. But both of those brothers, they're younger than me. But I had no problem with looking at them as teachers and as motivators and just as an inspiration. So I took that and I told both of them to their face, like literally, man to man, thank you. Because you showed me a whole new way to get out here and get it.